Taste and smell. Writer's questions. Are there food and drink nearby? Are there natural smells, such as from the ocean and plants, or artificial smells? Taste brings in the relation of eating and drinking to the activity. Smell is the most powerful agent of recall. The remembrance of past activities is what our responses are based on. An unexpected whiff of mothballs might conjure up images of grandmother's attic, or the scent of a stranger's cologne might stir up memories of a love from the past. The perception of taste and smell may be associated with movement because usually refreshment must be gained in other place. An adjoining kitchen, a block's walk to a restaurant, or a wilderness camping expedition. Smells may range from the natural, plants, animals, weather, earth, people, to the mechanical, oil, rubber, exhaust, hot metal, paint. The traditional shopping street ventilates its shops through the front doors, so a journey along the sidewalk becomes an olfactory catalogue of the activities within. The shoemaker, baker, greengrocer, tobacconist all have their characteristic smells with which we may associate. The modern shopping mall, conversely, extracts its air out the back to maintain a consistent, odorless interior environment. Were it realized that olfactory perception is so important to our buying habits, store tenants might ask shopping mall managers to reverse the fans. A sample dialogue for a pedestrian street. The following notes are from an interview with a participant in the design of Falls Creek, Vancouver, British Columbia, and are given as an example of participant response. People, I would like to live here privately but together with others, some sort of communal living room and kitchen, but also some private room, lots of boats to tie up for a night, and a place where you can stay, like a little inn or hotel or hostel, not a crowded harbor all covered by boats and no water left. Movement and circulation. Lots of movement in the boat scene, coming and going, fish boat activity and sales, and a restaurant nearby. Lots of greenery, little pieces of it, not sterile but linear, so that everybody can live by a strip of it at any time and have a good access to it. Bicycle places, room for parking bikes along the curve. Conceptual image for a pedestrian street with an open-air restaurant. Time, open 24 hours a day, all-night activities, lively yet urban. Mood and aura. It should be small, casual, known for the food and the type of people that go there, not for its interior. You can go there because you know your friends are there. Their place from whatever walk of life, a place where you can spend your day in a community, where you don't have to drink up and leave, but you can stay till you feel you have been saturated by the life there. Sound, music, screaming children, mothers yelling, the odd car sounds, tugboat whistles, no traffic sounds. Sight, light and color. Bright colors in summer, like canopies and plants on all floors, clothes, but in the winter colors become more woodsy, more forest greens and grays. 3 stories, balconies for kids watching, balconies so that the home spills onto the street, like a super living room, maybe a little private. Backyards but no front yards or useless side yards. No useless cul-de-sacs that lead nowhere. Lots of greenery, not a park, but dispersed to be enjoyed from one area that leads to another, united. Touch. To walk on something the size of my foot and has a pattern, Islamic or Moorish, so that they almost appear different at every angle, so you can feel the dips and bumps and variations for different places, so you really know, like bikes on one texture and feet on another, and no fences on the waterfront. The paving should just turn up. Small panes of glass, little panes, some brick, smooth banister railings, little fountains where kids can wash their hands, feel the faces of the sculptures. Taste and smell. Food. Chinese, Greek, leather from shoe shops, boat and sea smells. Perfume shop, every smell of everything being sold. Notes on enhancing the perceptual experience of the sidewalk. In the group perception of a particular site, the object is the identification of values that we hold in common. It is an act of consensus. The work of the facilitator is to point out or identify those values and assist the workshop participants in articulating those qualities. Often, one perceives the environment in a selective way. On the sidewalk, the scene should be allowed to activate all the senses rather than filtering out specific qualities. Do not talk except to communicate the experience. Walking in single file or alone helps in this. Concentrating on a single activity helps in sort out the huge volume of information that a site may present. Note site qualities, opportunities, and constraints in relation to its intended use for this activity. If possible, it is desirable for the group to eat a picnic lunch on the site. If it is a commercial area, the food may be bought locally, a way to meet local merchants and observe the activities of other shoppers. One seeks a place to sit and eat lunch and so visually examines the area and its spaces. One chooses a sheltered spot and so perceives the path of movement and crowd circulation. One seeks sunlight and so observes the quality of light, shade, and orientation. Finding a place to sit, one examines the surfaces and textures and materials. One stops talking while eating and so hears the sounds of the place. The taste and smell of the food that one eats awaken the perceptions of these senses in the environment. Site sketching in preparation for a workshop. Photo Bill Latimer. A site sketch. Site sketching. Site sketches are made to learn a scene that may be used for or altered during workshop design discussions with the public. The essence of co-design drawing is what is done in the workshop setting, constructing an imaginary scene for a group of people. This scene portraying the ideal future image of a place, however, is invariably based on an actual site or location, a community's main street, an underdeveloped vacant lot, an abandoned building. Co-design artists must be able to produce an approximate rendition of the existing situation. Such things as historic buildings, existing vegetation types and massing, unusual landforms, adjacent building types, and other special site features must be noted in order to form a complete mental picture of the site conditions. There are other reasons for venturing out to the site. Sketchbook in hand, a few days prior to the public workshop. Nothing forces one to truly see a site more than to have to draw it. No still photograph, video, image, or extensive note-taking will help the artist learn as much about the site as a site sketch. The act of site sketching makes the artist observe the scene with the intensity, thoughtfulness, and care. Additionally, the physical necessity of drawing from a stationary position for several minutes allows one the opportunity to note the beauties and the flaws of the site, its ambience, its smells and sounds, and the movement of people through it. The site sketch prepares the artist better to draw the same elements later in the workshop setting. The artist should go to the site at least once before the actual workshop. In winter weather, sketching through a car window is satisfactory. Remember that the reason for the site visit is not to produce a finished, presentable sketch, but rather to observe and record aspects of the site that may be useful in later discussions during the workshop setting. The ability to perceive requires a stillness and time in which the environment can better enter into a perception. Site sketch with notes.